So the Energear 300 milliliter diffuser, and yes, 300 milliliters. If you're brand new to aromatherapy diffusers of this style, which uses a electric piezo down at the bottom to create ultrasonic waves through the water, thereby agitating to the point where it not only mists but breaks up the essential oils for that diffusion. If you're brand new to this style, up to this point, and where I'm talking very recently, within the past month, all we've really had as a typical industry standard was 100, 150 milliliters, usually kind of fudging that range. More often than not, it was 120 milliliters, regardless of what the actual specification said. Now, out of the blue, in the past month, these 300 milliliter diffusers have just swarmed the market. And I'm all in favor of that because I do like a much bigger tank. It simply means less times I have to fill it. Now, as a result though, they do take larger space. So if table space is a premium, you should really do look at the smaller 100, 150 milliliter ones. But 300 milliliters, it's not that big, and the aesthetics are very attractive. But I am already naturally inclined to, as you can tell, wood aesthetics. Yes, that's a bamboo mouse. So yes, I am attracted to the aesthetics there. Now, as a ultrasonic diffuser, it is pretty much on par with even your 100, 150 milliliters, and I mean in how it functions, how it is filled. The misting level is actually a little bit higher, a little bit stronger than you normally get with your smaller tanks, 100, 150 milliliters. However, on the whole, it's probably best suited for small living spaces. You can kind of see the level there. So, you know, it is definitely stronger than your normal 100, 150 smaller tank, but it's not going to really do much for actual humidity levels per se. But for essential oil aromatherapy, it will do a small to moderate living space pretty well. The lighting, now there's multiple lighting modes, and I have to say this one hits it off pretty good right off the bat. Now there is this soft changing cycle. I'll turn off this light. My camcorder actually accentuates the level of brightness a little bit more than it actually is. It is a very soft, easy on the eyes. I love that green. And here, if there's a color, I was too late, but if there's a color you particularly like, just hit the light button and it will stop on that color. Otherwise, if you keep hitting the light button, you will go through a standard queue of all the different lights available. There's that green. Oh man, darker green. And then if you long press the light button, it will turn the light off. However, it will not turn the mist off. The mist is over here. You got four modes: 1 hour, 3 hours, 6 hours, and then continuous on, and then finally off. Just hit it, and you'll see this little indicator light showing up underneath the number: 3 hours, 6 hours, on, and then off. However, you cannot turn the mist off by long pressing it. It beeps at you like it does, but it doesn't actually do anything. To actually turn it off, you do have to cycle through it. So, long pressing the light button will turn off the lights without having to cycle through, but long pressing the mist button will not turn off the mist. But it's not a huge cycle through. I can understand why they do it for the light, because if you really had to sit there and cycle through all those lights available, that would be a pain. So there you go. Now, let's go ahead and talk internals. I'll go ahead and turn the mist off, and long press and turn the light off. Now the actual construction, you got a simply pressed wood ring there. It comes with a fairly lengthy cord that plugs underneath there, which snakes underneath the little feet right there, so it does snake through for a nice flat surface sitting. Now the lid can initially be, oh man, this is really hard to get off. Actually, here's the secret, because I went through the same things, like, oh man, this is really slippery. How am I supposed to get this off? Well, here's the deal. This is the outlet right here. Just put your thumb right in there, and like that. That is how you do it. Just stick your thumb right in that outlet, and just pull up, and there you go. There's no secret locking mechanisms or anything like that. 2 years ago, when the little similar to this, the little 100 milliliter bamboo covered diffusers, small tank, similar in construction. About 2 years ago, they had this weird locking mechanism with the inner lid, and I actually, my very first diffuser, which was one of those, I broke simply because I had just a strange, put it down, and you got to put it down just right in the right spot, and then twist it. And now this is very simple. Just other than realizing that you need to kind of pull it up like that. All right, so single piece. You can actually see the electronics inside there. And you do have a fill line that is relatively easy to see. It's right there. It's not actually marked per se, but it is a ridge. It does come with the typical little thing here, 150 milliliter thing. Is it 150? Yeah, 150. But that is the fill line. That's not that difficult to see since it is a raised edge. And finally, cleaning. You do want to clean these. In fact, right now I have a 500 milliliter diffuser that is being cleaned as we speak, because after I used up all the water, I let it sit there for a day or so, and the residual essential oil dried up and caked not only the bottom but the electric piezo. Now if you want to avoid what I'm doing right now, it's a simple thing. As soon as it runs out of water, rinse it out with warm water, making sure you're pouring away from the air intake, which I'm going to assume the air intake, yes, right there, that's the air intake. So you want to pour the water away from that. You don't want water down in there. So just any residue, warm water, kind of swish it around. Don't use any abrasive soaps or scrubbies or anything like that unless they're very soft foam type of scrubbies, because you don't want to do anything that might scratch the surface of the electric piezo. But that's pretty much all you have to do for general maintenance. Now, if you do what I did and leave it and it dries and gunks up, whoops, well, same thing, warm water, kind of get it initially cleaned out, but you'll probably see gunk get kind of built up along the electric piezo down there. Warm water and citric acid. Yes, citric acid. It's very gentle, non-abrasive, and it does work to break up dried on gunked on essential oils. And then, of course, let it sit there for maybe 15 minutes, what have you, and pour it off. And then I'm going to repeat it once again with my little soft foam scrubby around the piezo to make sure I clean up the edges there, and we're all good to go. Basic ultrasonic diffuser maintenance. Alright, so there you have it. All in all, I give it 5 stars. It does work as advertised. It's beautiful to look at, great lighting, and a relatively strong misting. Just be aware it's not going to do anything per se for your humidity level. It's not that strong. It is primarily for aromatherapy diffusion. Alright, you guys have yourself a great one.